Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Midori Francis about Unseen, which is going to be dropping on MGM Plus March 7th. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. I love the excitement. You're getting me riled up.
I mean, this movie is incredible. I mean, this movie is out of control in like the best way possible. I can't even imagine like looking at this script. Like, what can you tell me about seeing this script for the first time? Like, what stands out?
Yeah, I mean, so the script in itself, I mean, I thought when I read it, I was like, there are a lot of great ideas here. And it's also going to be like, I was like, ooh, okay, trying to sell all of this, you know? And me and Yoko have talked about that, like the technology, the logic of the calls, you know? And so I think that I got the impulse that we needed somebody at the helm of this who is gonna, you know, really be the leader and get all of these pieces together. Because the script has so much potential, and that's Yoko. I mean, this is Yoko Okamura. It's her first film, and she crushed it. Like, the script had so many great things about it. I was touched by the ending when I read the script. I was touched that it wasn't like your normal thriller, and that like you think it's about my character Emily's life being saved, but also Sam's life really needs saving too. I totally was moved from the first time I read it. But a lot of what you're describing, like the excitement of it all, I'm literally holding a neon green which is funny. It's making me think of the loud colors of the movie. But the fun, the style, I mean,
I want to go to that convenience store. Like, can we go to that store? Like, it's awesome.
What's funny about that is I think it might still be up. They built it. They built it in Covington, outside of New Orleans, at like an old abandoned gas station. And it literally looks like a gas. It says Gator Galore. I was there because I was reading my lines for Jolene. So I was like there eating all the candy. Okay. Playing with the gator plushies. It was a fun time.
So that was actually my next question, because you know, you and Jolene obviously are not in the same setting throughout the whole movie. But like, did you get so you did get a chance to kind of like see Jolene, meet Jolene, like work with Jolene a little bit, even though you're not on screen together specifically, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. We met, so she came out early to be my reader, and the whole running joke is she thought she'd be at Video Village with drinking a coffee and you know, doing her lines, and cut to an hour later, she's in the woods hiding behind trees. Like, Emily.
Yeah, sure, I'll come read. No problem. I'll come read.
Like, oh, I didn't know that reading meant also being in the woods with Midori. So needless to say, we bonded real fast, real hard. And, you know, I don't know if it would have been quite the same movie without her having come out like that. You know, we got to build it together.
There's a lot of movies in the thriller horror genre that have kind of the fighting to survive kind of element, like in this film. But a lot of them are very kind of, you know what you signed up for, you're kind of watching, and it's like, get out. This one is like a very unique kind of survival story. Again, I feel like this one going in fresh is the best, so I don't kind of want to say much. I think they should just watch the trailer and then go in fresh. I don't know if you agree with me on that.
We have a screening tonight, and that's what I've been trying to tell people, because some people were like, Midori, I can't do horror. And I'm like, okay, for sure. This has the Blumhouse like thriller nature, and it is definitely scary. And there's some blood, as Yoko likes to say, blood and glitter. But it's not your usual horror movie.
It isn't.
It's like, to me, I feel like I'm rocking out to some album, like I'm on a trip.
The survival component, though, like the first thing, did you categorize it mainly as, okay, this is like a very unique, important survival story?
Absolutely.
Like,
and that's also what drove me towards Emily in the role, was like, this is a tough biatch. Like, she gets knocked down so many times and just keeps getting up. And that pace of that, and Sam too, you know, of course, Sam starts the movie a little bit more anxious and timid as a character than Emily, who I think is more like, I got this. But you know, Sam too, just taking punches, getting back up, really punchy like that.
I think they go hand to hand, because you know, it is a thriller. I put in the horror kind of category as well. I feel like the fan base, Midori, just eats up all the content because there's such an appetite for that genre right now. What's it like working in the genre of horror and thriller and, like you said, like Blumhouse, at a time where there is such a big appetite for it and there's such a, like, the storytellers are so, like, are elevating the genre. Like, it's exciting to work in horror right now.
Oh yeah, and like when I looked at the script and I knew it was Blumhouse's name, it's like so excited. It's freaking Blumhouse, you know. They produce some of my favorite like scary movies that I've seen, and yeah, I think what's cool about like this genre too is the stakes are so high, like in the horror thriller, because at the end of the day, it's a horrifying situation. You know,
Absolutely.
my psycho ex-boyfriend come chase me through the woods and try and kill me.
That's it. Don't say any more. That's it.
Okay, that's it. That's all you get. That's in the log line. That's in the log line. Okay. But the stakes, right? Like,
the stakes are so high.
As an actor, getting to go out into the woods and scale walls and cry and scream and fight for your freaking life, like that was all. It was like, you know, it's very rare in these kind of movies you're not at a 10 emotionally or a 7.
And this is not your first project in like the genre, like horror thriller. I mean, it's funny because you did work on like the Birch, and I've interviewed, you're like the 4th person from that show that has been on this show. Like,
that's so funny because nobody brings up the Birch, but I think if you're a fan of this genre,
shout out to Dempsey Brick, shout out to Jordan Di Natale. They've been on the show for other projects.
A lot of those people were in also the different storyline because I was like, spoiler, I am the Birch, so I'm in the origin.
You are, yes. I mean, what, man? I watched that whole thing. Like, I enjoyed the Birch.
Amazing.
But you know what I enjoyed? You actually are in one of my, like, Good Boys is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, it really is. And like, and obviously there's a question here because, you know, with Unseen and this, I mean, is it all storytelling for you, or is it categorized differently from Midori Francis depending on kind of the characters, the tones, the mood, and like the genre? Because you look at Grey's Anatomy, you look at Good Boys, you look at Dash and Lily, this. Completely different worlds.
Yeah, honestly, that makes me smile inside because I love that ability to jump from different tones and range. Like that's so fun, you know? It's like which acting drug am I going to take? Oh, this one, you know, and it's all very stimulating and exciting to me. But do I rank them in any kind of order? No, I don't. I really don't. I mean, I think that would be judgmental to the audiences. Like to be in a fun rom-com for me, it's just about trying to get to a standard, right? So if I'm in a rom-com, I'm trying to be the best version of that rom-com character that is humanly possible. If I'm in a horror movie, I'm trying my best to play that fear as real as possible so that I can deliver for the audience, right? So it's just about whatever genre I'm in, trying to hold a high standard, but I don't rank anything higher or lower. Like people want to laugh, people want to cry, people want to be scared, people just want to also turn on the TV and like have escapism and not learn any major lessons. And like, I'm so down for that too. I mean, my whole, you know, all of our childhoods, but I feel like childhood was so much formed by TV for me. I was one of those kids, I didn't really have the limits and like, oh, you're only allowed to watch an hour. You know, me and my brother just literally would sometimes like what seems like 12 hours. And so like all of these fictional characters and stories, I feel like they shaped me and gave me my imagination in a way. And so to be a part of that in any capacity. Yeah.
And I do want to say, because that's so interesting that you say that, because the more I think of it, because I am also a creative as well. I, you know, have a short horror film that I co-wrote, produce, and post right now. But awesome. I think it kind of stems from, I think we like making things, you know what I mean? Whether it's like a full movie, whether it's like a character, like you like making Lily from Dash and Lily a certain way, right? Like I feel like it stems simply from we like to make stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. And yeah, I like to make stuff. And I was about to say with my hands, but that doesn't make any sense because I don't make these characters with my hands. But it kind of feels like that, yeah. And make things with other people. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, I've shot the silliest videos on my phone, like for like a birthday video, and I get so excited doing it. And like first I'm stressed, and then the minute I'm in it, it's like the most important thing that's going on in the day. And I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely. And like I can never also turn it off sometimes. Like I'll watch a movie and I'm like, that was awesome. how can I do something that's like at the same time similar, but like has nothing to do with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Sometimes I get annoyed with that though. Like sometimes I can really just watch, and that's what's so great about our field. Like I can go to the movies, I can go see plays and just be totally an audience member with I'm not there to like be in the industry, or
Yeah.
a lot of the time when I get invited to screenings, I just want to watch the movie for free because like that's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah. But sometimes I know what you mean. Sometimes I have this other cap on, like
Yep.
the actor cap,
Yeah.
when I'm like kind of not fully in it and I'm like watching these other elements and like and that can be fun, but sometimes it's annoying. I'm like, oh, I wish I could turn that part off and just not think about how many, how much crew is in that room when they shot
Yeah,
that.
you're like always thinking of things. Absolutely. I'll get back to the unseen, but very quickly get back to Good Boys because I really love that movie. And I just want to say one of the most underrated twists in like a comedy ever is that you're like the older sister of like the character they're trying to impress the whole movie. I just thought that was so well done. Like,
I know it. And he was he played, that character was so funny.
No, but the whole movie is they're trying to impress, trying to go to this party and everything, and then they get in trouble with, you and Molly's character with everything. And like, I didn't see that coming at all. And I always go back to that. That was such a subtle little like twist that I really enjoyed.
Those guys are good at making movies. Point Grey, Seth's company, like they are so good at making movies.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. For the unseen as well, I can't even imagine the learning experience, because whether you worked on a project like on a set once or like thousands of times, you're always going to learn new things. So I can't even imagine the list of kind of learning experiences for yourself and Jolie and everything. Is there one or two on the top of your head learning experience wise from an acting storyteller perspective you can share with me?
I think from an acting standpoint that, the energy you bring to a set can really have shape and influence over things,
Yeah.
I feel like I really tried to come in excited and ready to work. And I think that had a positive result. And that is important to remember, because I think, because sometimes you have an off day or you're caught up with something that happened outside of the film and you come in with that energy. And I think that was my biggest takeaway, was like, you do have power as an actor to like enter the space and bring a certain energy, and that you are responsible for that. And so I think that that's something I took away.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I took away the fact that I need to bring the energy all the time.
No, not like that. Not like that. I just mean like, a lot of those days were like 13, 14-hour days in freezing weather and water.
No,
and like, I can't
100%.
even imagine like just being I want to be the type of actor for Yoko, who's so freaking amazing and has this vision where I'm not being a baby. That's a terrible way of phrasing it, but like no judgment, but like that I'm not like complaining about it, that I'm appreciating the opportunity.
100%.
That I'm there.
I knew what you were saying. I was just saying.
And I think I gained confidence, honestly.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I think I don't realize I was, in retrospect, I think I was like, oh my God, like, because I was, obviously it's like terrifying to take on anything is terrifying. Being an actor is terrifying. But like looking back and being like, okay, I actually was able to pull this off with the help of an amazing crew and director and actor. But like whenever as an actor you get this great opportunity to play a lead, to sink your teeth into something when you're so scared of like messing it up or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I actually can do this. And also I hadn't done anything like this. Like the Birch was awesome, but I was also playing a younger character, and so to walk away being like, whoa, I was able to do that. Like that's forever with me. And I always think you can go to acting school. Like I did that. And it's great, but you really learn on the job. So I'm like, because I had that experience with Blumhouse and as Emily, now going forward, I always have that. So,
and then very quickly before we wrap up too, kind of to add to that, I mean, when you're watching this as an audience member, and it's not a spoiler at all, because you'll see the way I'm spreading it, but like there are no breaks. Like there's no, like, it is high octane, like nonstop the whole movie. There are some kind of moments where there's some dialogue that maybe seems like it's a break, but it's like, nope, it's not a break at all. No. Did it feel like there were no breaks filming it too? Like, did it feel high octane as well?
Yes, I would say that that's exactly how it felt. It felt exactly like there were no breaks. It was like, go, go. Okay, we're moving to this. I mean, you know what type of movie making this is. It's you do it fast.
Yeah.
And the best part though, like I will say the New Orleans crew, the local crew, they're so freaking cool. And I have such good memories with them. Some people I'm still in touch with, like great people, somehow remaining like chill adjacent through all of this. Because it was around Mardi Gras time too. So we would like do the movie and then go explore the town. There was this work-life balance of remembering that we're making a movie. And then Yoko too, I think. And actually Alex, one of the producers from Blumhouse, who's on set, they were kind of like the people who were there every day. And with all this high octane stuff, with my energy being like this, because I'm playing a person who's like this, they were like, hi, okay, this is what we're doing today. And so you really need that, because I'm bouncing around like this, and then the director is like, and then it's not going to work.
Because
yeah.
I was stressed watching this movie.
Yeah, I think I was really stressed filming it, but also had so much fun being stressed.
Absolutely not. I can't wait for people to see it.
I don't like to be bored. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of my things. I'm trying to, in my real life, like, I'm not the most person who just sits on a couch like, so like for me, like I like being a little stressed,
100%. No, I totally agree with you. And I can't wait for people to see Unseen on MGM Plus March 7th. Midori, it was so great chatting with you. Thanks so much for coming on Popternative.
Thank you for loving the movie and supporting it. I really want people to see it.
Absolutely. No, for sure. And your Instagram account is just your name, right? Is it just Midori Francis?
Yeah, I think my handle is Midori Glory, which could be embarrassing one day, but I refuse to change it. I made it when I was 19.
That's a great handle. I will say that. That's awesome. No, they can watch. Yeah, they're going to watch that. And then for people, I'm sorry, I got to plug it in. Watch Good Boys. Find it. It's a great movie. I love that movie.
Yes, I love this throwback. Thank you.
Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popturn for previous episodes. Till next time, this is Midori Francis, who you can catch in Unseen, streaming on MGM Plus March 7th. And Petey Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.